What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another episode of Bodybuilding University. Today, I'm joined by Jose Raymond, 212 bodybuilding legend, Brett the Butcher Wilkin, IFBB Pro, and Stanimal Longeaux. Jose, I appreciate the little bicep flex there you were giving us, just a
I
little
knew you would.
tease. What's been happening, Jose? I haven't had you on here in a while, man. I always sort of forget because I look at people that are in my WhatsApp and I haven't got you on WhatsApp. So when I see something of yours pop up, I'm like, I've got to get Jose back on. But what's been happening, man? What's been going on in the life of Jose Raymond?
Same stuff, man. Been training, working with clients, and I'm in the gym every day. I'm not necessarily training every day, but I'm doing my same thing I've been doing for 30 years, and I love it. And it's been great. The whole online thing is helped, so I don't have to be in the gym 60 hours a week. I'm in there about half that, and it's good. I'm getting older. I'm treating injuries. I already had a hip replacement. I got to get the other one done, and now I have a knee that needs to be done. So don't get
Damn.
old.
Are you doing are you doing anything to prevent like the pain or anything like that? Like, is there any like CBD or
You you
anything you're adding
know,
in?
honestly, what I've found is that I can't stop moving because if I just like say, "Ah, my shoulders hurt," I shouldn't train them. It gets worse. The pain gets worse. If
Uh,
my knee hurts and I stop training, it gets worse. So I'm like, fuck it. I can't obviously squat heavy or anything, but I'm still doing step ups, walking lunges, like, hamstring curls. I'm still training because if I stop, it's even worse. So I'm just gonna
Oh yeah,
literally go till the wheels fall off.
but
I
it's one of
love
the
it, man.
biggest things for longevity. Like keep moving is like the number one thing. Because when you stop moving, that's when you get more and more stiff, and then you just lose the ability of moving out completely, and then of course you end up dying. So moving is like keep yeah, like you said, keep moving as much as you can is definitely a plus if you want to extend your years on the back end.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
All right,
something.
I'm gonna do a
Yeah, you
shameless
do plug.
plug real quick, just because I got Jose's attention right now. But I'm sending you a bottle next week. I'm actually sending out some gift packages next week, but I'm releasing this on April 1st. So this is the Butcher Balm. So you need once you
Tell us
get
about
this,
it.
you get naked and cover your whole body in it, okay? And just let it soak in. No, but for real, what it is, it's a pharmaceutical grade biofreeze, icy hot, whatever you want to call it, just from the menthol and camphor effects. But it also has BBC 157 and TB 500 as a topical version inside of it. So
Oh wow.
wow. I was like you. Whenever I was training legs in the past, me and Martin used to put horse liniment on our knees just to numb them out on like leg days. We'd be like, fuck our knees. We're just going to numb them out and go. So we did that for years. Finally, I was like, I got to build something out of this. Like, I got to make this better and for humans because that one wasn't for humans at all. So I came up with this. It took a little while to finally get it all together, but I had to find the right resources to find that topical version because this is going to be like one of the very first one in America that actually can absorb through the skin. So I'll get you one out, Jose, but it has been awesome. So like I said, before I train on any muscle and just put it on. And then, like I said, it numbs it out so you don't feel, but it's also healing you at the same time with those peptides. That's awesome. I've never heard of
That's
such a thing.
awesome.
I'm hoping it's a big one. So we've been doing a lot of, I got a marketing team behind it. We're going all in on this. So I'm really excited about it. And that's what I've been doing, especially at the end of last year when I was taking a break from training and stuff. I was doing a lot of this and it's all coming together. So perfect timing. The
That's
butcher's
killer, man.
balm.
The butcher bomb.
Love it.
Yes, sir.
I need it.
I'm gonna put my balm all over you.
think we can
Thank you.
all use some for sure.
Oh, I think everybody can. That's why I'm approaching, and I'm not even gonna really put obviously my name's on it, my nickname, but I'm not gonna like it's not just targeted at bodybuilders or whatever, but it's like, your grandma might need it for her low back, right? So it's like trying to get into chiropractors, trying to get it, to the elderly just for those aches and pains, those weird things. So I'm just trying to expand it as big as it can get. That's awesome.
Love it.
I was just
Yeah.
wondering with that as well. Is it a pain reducing thing? Is it like a deep what we call out here deep heat where it's like the liniment sort of thing where it gets hot and it sort of reduces the pain
just in that way in the short term? Is it that plus obviously the peptides, which the peptides have more of a, I suppose, injury healing long-term sort of effect?
Yeah, so that's what I mean by like it still has the menthol effect. So that's what BioFreeze Icy Hot is. So it
Yeah.
gives you that instant numbing relief. Like within 3 minutes, you're completely numb in that area. And it probably lasts for an hour, maybe 2 hour and a half, 2 hours, and then it'll obviously wear off. But then it continues to use the peptides that are getting absorbed as well.
Is this legal in Australia? Because I'm not.
No, no,
Oh,
I'm
of
not even
course.
gonna say it. That's gonna get you rejected, right? There's not. I mean, it's anything, any peptides are it's always questionable to get those to Australia or cross borders or whatever. So I'll have to decide how I'm going to approach the international stuff. But first thing is I just want to get our websites are live already, but just get them in production here ahead.
What's the website?
The Butcher Bomb.
That's it. The Butcher Bomb.
The Butcher Bomb. Well, .com.
I'll put the link in the description for everyone as well. But things are actually able to be absorbed transdermally. Like some people believe that, oh, it doesn't really get through the skin and things like that, but it definitely does. I know there was like an injury type cream out here that was actually produced by someone I know, and that was phenomenal in terms of if you've got bicep tendonitis, something like that, you put that on, and it was incredible how much of that pain it actually took away. So if my tendonitis is really bad to the point where I couldn't train biceps, I'd put that on, it would take away 75% of the pain. And yeah, it would still be uncomfortable to train, but it made the difference between not being able to train and being able to train. So there's even, some sort of way you could do something like that in Australia and other countries. But yeah, definitely the peptides in there. Australia are so strict on all that sort of stuff. Like if there's anything that seems to work or people are using in the US, which is like, oh, check out this new thing. Australia's already banned it. Like Kratom, that's banned. Peptides banned, like everything. So definitely makes it tough. But what's been going on?
They banned Anavar too.
In Australia or the US?
In Australia.
Oh yeah, it's definitely banned here. Is it legal in the US?
No, but I got caught at the border with one Anavar pill and they banned me.
Big trouble.
I had to give them my credit card. Dude, it was the biggest scam ever. They went through every piece of my luggage.
And all they found on you was one Anavar tab?
That was it. That was it. One Anavar pill. And after like 45 minutes, the guy comes out with a glass vial and he goes, "This is Anavar." And I'm like,
he was even able to figure it out on the spot, huh?
Yeah. And he was like, "You can pay $360 fine or leave now." And I'm like, "All right, take my credit card, whatever, dude."
And they had a credit card process. Here's my charge for the Anavar in my bag.
Yeah. Dude. Wow. Australia is crazy.
Those corrupt fuckers.
Yeah,
fuck them.
When Dave Palumbo came into the country, he walked through there and they knew who he was. They're like, "Oh yeah, come over here. You're here for the expo." Da, da, da. Yeah, and then I think they even said about him doing seminars there. Like they knew everything. So when certain bodybuilders are coming into the country for the Arnold Classic and things like that back in the day, they were always pulled aside, no matter what. It was just it's rough. And they're super strict too. And I think we even had someone on last week on the podcast, or maybe I was on Beatty's podcast, but someone came into the country and they were saying how, what were they saying about it? Oh, I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but yeah, they were saying about their experience with it. And it's just, you get high level anxiety going through Australian customs.
I remember when I flew over for the Arnold Australia when Ivana did it. And Jose knows this, but like all the Americans fly over together. They're pretty much all on the same flight, right? So we're getting off the flight, and like everyone's kind of obviously like, okay, we gotta go through customs, so everybody's kind of getting a little like heated up. And Ivana's like, "Hey, make sure you put your sweatshirt on." Like, this was in 2018, spring of 2018. And she's like, "Make sure you put your sweater on so they don't stop you and see you." And I look at her, I'm like, there's fucking, there's fucking all these, there's all these, what do they call it? The strongmen. There's all these strongmen walking behind in front of us. I go, you think they're going to stop me when there's a 380-pound man right next to us walking? So we made her just walk right through, but they did. Yeah, they were pulling over. I think Rich Piano was on. They pulled Rich over. They there. They pulled him over. Like it was like everybody was just getting me and her just walk right through. I was like, I told you we'd be okay.
Do you guys know anyone that's been turned around at the Australian border?
Not completely, no.
No.
The only one
A
I
lot
know,
of
Aaron Singman
Canadian,
got turned around.
Canadian border, I do.
Oh, really? Yeah, Canada's strict too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Why did Singerman? He had like TRT bottles on him, right?
No, that was fine. So he got into the country with that. Oh no, well he didn't get in with it. They took it off him. He had a prescription, but it wasn't on the bottle. So in Australia, you have to have it printed onto the bottle, like a sticker on the bottle of whatever you're using or the packet or whatever it is. And they said, no, it's not good enough. You can't have a piece of paper. That doesn't mean shit to us. So they took that off him. He got into the country fine. But then the next time he tried to come back, because obviously Aaron's been in legal trouble before, tried to come out. He got to Australia and then I think he got turned back and he had to get on a plane and go straight back to America. So,
oh, imagine that.
Yeah, like literally the furthest way you could get America to Australia. It's a long ass flight. I couldn't imagine going straight back. Well, that happened to Nathan actually coming from the UK. He got to the US for the Olympia, turned around, and got sent back to the UK as well. Which I just couldn't imagine doing that in a prep. How much that would suck, just getting turned around at the border.
Yeah, I got a hard time in New Zealand as well.
Oh, really?
There was a person behind the desk, and they Googled me. Right away, just Googled me. And they were like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here for a fitness festival. And they're like, are you not working? Have you been arrested? And I'm like, no. They gave me a hard time for like 20 minutes and then let me through. But I've never seen that before. They Googled me. Right in front of me.
Yeah, New Zealand and Australia, they're very similar.
Computer and they're like, is that you? I'm like, yeah.
It's just you a stage shot. Just
yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Dick veins everywhere.
Yeah, that's me.
They show you a photo and you're like, no, look at the 2012 Mr. Olympia. I was way better there.
Yeah, that's not a good look. Peak was off there.
But
Brett, go to the one I won.
How's dad life been, Brett? Because obviously I don't know if we've done a pod. Oh, I think we've done a couple. But yeah, how's it all been now? She's 10 months, I think you said.
Yeah, almost 10 months. So like we were saying before we started, it's just every day is something new, man. So it's like it's a really good age because now we have a routine. She sleeps through the night for the most part. The naps are set perfectly, but she just now she can crawl. And everybody warned me. I was like, oh, wait until they crawl, wait until they walk. You're gonna hate it. And I absolutely love it now that she can crawl because it's like I don't have to like expend all of her energy myself. Like I just let her go. Like I'll just walk around the house and she follows the dog or she chases the cat or it's just always something going on and just screaming. Like I told you right now, you can just hear her back there just yelling because she just goes around.
I can't even hear her.
Martin's here. Martin's been staying with me for about the last month, and like it's funny. Like he walks out in the morning and she like walks up and just yells at him in the face, turns around, comes back over. She's the boss.
Little girls are aggressive, man. Like I think well, definitely in my experience. Between my son's super soft natured, super caring. Like, yeah, he's a boy, so he'll sometimes like, give her a little whack or whatever. But he's pretty soft natured. But she's like, if he hits her, even if it's softly, she's coming back 3 times as hard and yelling at the same time as it. So yeah, girls definitely go hard.
Yeah, that's what.
How's that different from adult females?
No different whatsoever. It stays the same.
Yeah. A lot of signs right there, early signs.
Yeah. But Stan, what's been happening with you, man? I've been seeing. I think you put up a video today of how you're looking 17 weeks out. I think it is of Vancouver.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. When was my tongue coming out? Yeah, just Patrick. I took my weekly updates to Patrick yesterday. He posted a little bit, so I posted another shot, and yeah, we just keep on trying to pack on size. There's not time to diet yet. Not with the condition in which I am.
Yeah.
Now, Hardy Chupin.
What's the date? What's the date on that, Stan?
July 14th.
Okay, Lord, good.
Now, Hardy Chupin has made his way to the UK. I don't know if you guys have seen. Obviously, no one was really talking about it. I know it was on Cutler Cast where they spoke about it, and manager Matt sort of Well, Jay Cutler actually said, he's like, didn't you tell me he got his visa? And he's like, I don't know if I was supposed to say. So I think that it had been, either about to be approved or got approved sort of last minute. He's in the US now, arriving one day out of the Arnold Classic UK. I'll go to you first, Jose. Do you think that could affect Hardy's prep being obviously no? I have a feeling he's going to say that.
No, he's going to win. If he's there, he's going to win. He's that far ahead of everyone right now, and everyone in that show. Unless something horrific happened and he spent the last week and a half eating ice cream,
Yeah.
which he's not. He's a workhorse. He's going to go there and do the same thing, obliterate the competition.
Yeah.
I assume he's been staying with Hani the whole time, right?
So where are they?
Yeah, he went back to Iran.
Are they there?
Well, this looks like the UK. It's like overcast and just.
Well, it says in NEC Birmingham, isn't that in UK?
Yes, that's in the UK. Yeah. So they're there. They've just arrived now. Prejudging is in
tomorrow.
I think about. Yeah, it's how many hours away now?
Tomorrow, it's about 1 p.m. my time. So that's like 7 p.m. British time.
So what is it, like 15, 16 hours from now?
7 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah. So this was posted 7 hours ago.
He's already there. He's fine. Look at him. He's shredded. You can even see it in Hani's face.
He even brought his trophies to the UK with him.
Yeah, I know.
How much to bring both of your trophies there?
Well, what's he going to leave it back at Hani's house and then fly back to get him? He's going straight home after this. In between.
No, I think he was in the US because I saw some videos and whatnot going up like 3 days out, 4 days out on Hani's and Hardy's stories, and it looked like he's still in that US gym. So that's why I was concerned, because I'm like 3 days out, he's still in the gym training in the US, but it seems like he's arrived about 24 to 26 hours out from the contest. So, I mean, he did arrive. I mentioned this in a video I just put up before. He did arrive 1 day out from a Mr. Olympia he competed in. And at the prejudging, I think he placed third. And then at the finals, I think he placed second.
Fourth.
So,
it was 2020. He got fourth at prejudging, and then he was second ahead of Phil Heath at finals.
There you go. Yeah. So he's obviously able to improve. So it could affect his look a little bit. Brett, do you think there's any chance that he could slip enough and Samson could improve enough within 2 weeks, or do you just not see that happening?
Also with that, I think back, I don't know what year, probably 2020, maybe 2019. I think 2019 Vancouver, when he went out there to his first open show, remember that? And he beat Nathan, he beat Ian, he beat James Holland. Like, that was a day out too, if I remember right. Like he got there last and walked on stage. So I don't think there's gonna be any issue with him looking, just because he had to fly, looking water or something. Hani's got that stuff on lock. And no, I agree with Jose. I think this is his show to lose. I was super impressed with Arnold, man. Like, what I was really impressed, I don't think since the Olympia, I don't think he's took a day off. Like, you know what I mean? I think he's been locked into the Olympia for that Arnold, and it showed, because like even his waist was smaller. He was pulling more of a vacuum. It just like that was the best version, and we always say that, but I truly think that's probably the best version I've seen of him that I can remember, especially in the last 2-3 years. But he was just, he was on point, and you could tell he wanted that bad. And I think the same thing's gonna happen here. But again, I'm also pretty surprised he's doing the UK. I thought he was just gonna make sure he kind of make the statement at the Arnold US and then shut it down until the Olympia. But that's cool. You know what I mean? It's gonna make it more obviously way more competitive, and it's good to see him as many times as we can. But again, I have him, edging out Samson again with similar results. I don't think Samson will improve that much, and I don't think Hadi will drop off that much.
How much money do you think? Sorry, you go.
I said he's a workhorse. He wants it. He wants to compete. He wants to train. He wants to feed his family. Why wouldn't he stop over on the way home and make another $100,000 or whatever it is? What's it? Yeah. How much is it? 100?
It's 100 or 150 or something like that. That's what I was going to ask. But yeah.
Hey, that's a good amount of money, even though he just made, what did he make, 4?
300.
300. Are you sure? Was it 3 or 4?
It was 3
It was
this year.
3,
Yeah.
up to
They're
5.
bumping it to 5 next year.
Okay. Yeah, he deserves every penny. I would
Oh yeah.
definitely do it if I was him.
Dude, what's so
Stuntman.
impressive right here, just this video we're watching is just like his posing and ab control. Like he doesn't breathe the entire time. It's just he's just bang,
Look at that.
bang. He never lets his stomach go once, and like it was funny because everyone was like, make sure you watch that on him, make sure you watch that on him. And he came out and did this. And then you had, and I'm not no knock on Samson, but Samson was kind of losing his on his transitions, you know what I mean? And like I mean, he has great waist, but he would big breath, blow it out. But dude, Hottie was just bam. So like obviously he put in all that extra work, especially on the posing side. And it's showing through. And to be honest, that version we just saw right there, that I'll say it, that would have won the Olympia last year, in that lineup, So it's gonna be an interesting one this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
And that's what a lot of people have said. Like Stan, like, do you think you would have won the Olympia last year?
Oh
if,
yeah,
with
sure.
that same
Well,
package?
I personally had him winning already the way he was. Like in my like my eyes, I thought he had a little bit of the edge because of, more front pose. I thought he had more pose personally than Derek. But I mean, I totally see the arguments for Derek. Not trying to take anything away from him, but that's how well I look. How I admire Hadi and how good I see him being. I've been saying he's going to win the Olympia for the last. I think before Rami repeated, I was like predicting Hadi to win already. So I think 2020 that's the first time he really like I saw him in open and he really like impressed me a lot that year when he was when he flew in like 24 hours from the prejudging and he got like forced up prejudging and he was second at finals and then Brennan Curry ended up second but he placed ahead of Phil. He's at the finals too. And since then, I've been really really impressed by Hadi and this package he brought. That was next level. So of course, there was no question for him to win that show 2 weeks ago. But now the only thing I'm a little concerned is like as much of a workhorse he is, when you get there 24 hours, you don't know what's gonna happen. Even you're so prepared, is always some variable that out of your hands, especially long flights like this. So I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be in great shape, but also 2 weeks for Samson, who's been home for the whole time. It's a lot of time. So it's not like Samson was way off either. So I don't know. In 2 weeks, a lot of things can happen. Of course, I think Hadi is favorite, but I think we can definitely see maybe a closer battle even this week than we saw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And I've seen videos of Samson's legs as well. I mean, obviously it's only videos that are going up on Instagram, but he definitely looks more conditioned by those. I'll see if I can find those on my computer while we're talking. Brett, do you think it was sorry, Jose?
Did you hear any more of like have you had any insight? I mean, you're more in the circle than I am right now anyways. Like why is Samson leaving Milos?
Well, I've watched Samson's interview and spoke to him very briefly. I didn't speak to him about leaving Milos. I don't think I spoke to him actually since the Arnold. But the sense I'm getting is that he just wants to maximize what he's doing and he wants to come in his best condition. And Milos has spoke on it as well. And Milos sort of said, I hope Samson listens in terms of getting condition being the priority. So whether they had disagreements on what they should be doing with the prep or what it was, I have no clue. And I haven't reached out to Samson to say, hey, Samson, what's the deal with the coaching thing or whatever, because I know the dude's like pushing right now and there's no point reaching out to him and asking because he's already sort of putting some stuff out and he's putting out what he wants to put out. But it seems like Milos has been great, obviously been great for Samson because you look at when he started with Samson and Milos sort of hasn't really gotten any credit for what he's done. And without Milos, I don't know if Samson would have got to the size he is at now. But then you can make the argument maybe someone could have got him more conditioned or whatever, who knows. But Milos sort of does deserve his credit, taking Samson from being a guy who places fourth in smaller shows to being third best in the world. So he definitely deserves his credit there as well. But what do you think this was like the best version of Samson at the Arnold, or do you think there's been better versions? Because when you sort of look at it, you go, well, which was the best version of Samson, if not the 2024 Arnold? What do you think, Brett?
I don't think it's off. I don't think it's far off. I think it's consistent with his last two showings.
You know, I mean, the Arnold last year when he won in the Olympia, I think those were similar. Than this year was similar. But like you said, I don't think, you know, he was getting so much better every single show and they kind of slowed down here. And then the issue is he's just not taking that extra step on conditioning side of things. So I assumed it was more of like, you know, I've given you 3 chances to, you know, get me into the next level of conditioning, what the judges want to see. And they keep telling me, and we haven't been able to do that. So maybe trying a different route, you know what I mean? So, but it just, yeah, it just seems really interesting. Like, and then like finding out James really wasn't, you know, working with Milos the whole prep either and stuff. So it's like, it's kind of, you know, falling into place. Now it's like now it's like kind of scratching your head of what's really going on, right? So I don't know. I'm sure I'll find out sooner or later.
I think some of it as well, like we have all these podcasts now where we discuss, you know, pros openly discuss, you know, coaches and things like that. And some people have gone, oh, you know, Milos with the insulin, like, you know, some people sort of question a little bit. And I wonder if, you know, these clients sometimes hear it and go, oh, well, I really like some things that Milos does, but maybe I want to do some things myself, and then may sort of, I don't know, as a coach, I wouldn't want someone doing half of my plan and not the other half unless you sort of worked with them.
That's where the
So you guys didn't watch the Cutler's podcast with Milos?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw Milos talk about that he didn't really want to suffer. And that he mentioned Hattie's doing 3 hours of cardio. And
But
he looked like he was doing 3 hours. And
I don't think Hattie's doing 3 hours of cardio, to be honest. Because he's never out of shape. Why would he do 3 hours of cardio? I think he's training. I have no idea.
That's just what they said.
And yeah, I think
what I got from that was that Samson didn't want to do the amount of cardio that Milos wanted him to do. And he kind of started doing his own thing.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it.
That's what I mean. Like, we'll never actually know, because there's going to be more sides than the truth is there. So that's the whole thing about bodybuilding and relationships. But it'll be interesting to see.
But with Samson saying, you know, that his wife prepped him for Prague and Romania, like that seems that, you know, he's been doing also other things on his end, or at least to try. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I think he acknowledged that Milos was great to add the size he needed, and now he needed another, you know, to dial in another part of his physique, which is conditioning. And they've tried many times with Milos without succeeding to the level that was expecting from him. And so it's time for him to just try something different. I think that's all it is. And then maybe there's just some nuances in the scenes, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, exactly. Milos probably was frustrated to see like the little things he was doing on his own, improvisation and all that stuff, and, you know, imply that he didn't want to do the things he wanted him to do. And that's probably where the tension maybe built up a little bit, where, you know, what are you really doing right now? You know, who are you listening to? Because when you start listening to different people at the same time, that's the worst thing, as we all know. And then the frustration builds and the results are not following. You know, the next step of his progress are not following on stage, which is just the conditioning at this point. So I think that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I do think there is a problem when supposedly Milos was prepping him during Prague in Romania, and then he came out and made a statement that his wife was prepping him or peaked him for Prague and Romania. So there is definitely a disconnect there, and that would be enough for me to remove myself from the situation if I were Milos. And I don't know who made the decision, but I think it's best if the bodybuilder's not listening to the coach or doing exactly what he's saying, then what's the point of working with him?
Yeah.
Man, does it happen more than we know, or that we want to know? It's crazy to see all that.
Oh, yeah.
The one person that doesn't happen with, you never hear this shit with Hani Rambod, though. I've never heard anything about Hani being like, you know, one of the athletes, you know, listening to somebody else or working with somebody else. It's 100% all in all the time. I mean, that's how it should be, and that's what we all should strive for. But the real is that bodybuilding stuff and the mental game, especially those preps, and people start wandering, especially when you're not right there with your coach.
And what's the hottest flavor of the week right there, and who's going to tell you what you want to hear. And so unfortunately that happens.
Yeah. But the thing is funny, people follow trends like, oh, this coach is successful, this coach is successful. But what happens is people are successful, the people that stick with them. Because if you're honest and you're transparent, you can build up, the data and know what you can, make adjustment that actually provoke some type of result. But like when you're already listening half an ear here and then something else somewhere else, then how can you adjust from anything? There's no learning curve. There's no improvement possible. I mean, you don't know what works and what doesn't. Because like even you don't know as the athlete because you've listened to people at once. So you haven't done like one thing properly. You messed up most.
Have you guys ever had a client that's literally done, like you've given them a plan, they've done something else and then been upset with you?
Of course.
Yeah.
If you work with enough people, that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's because it's not their fault. It's never gonna. It ain't gonna be their fault. It's your fault that they messed up.
But
that's the thing that drives me insane.
I see someone doing something else, I just, if it's a mistake, it's one thing. Then you admit it and we correct it. But if I just say if I know he's lying to me, I just cut ties. I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah, smart for sure. But let's discuss a few of these other guys that are doing this Arnold Classic UK, which is only in under 24 hours. So I'll get this podcast out nice and quick. We've got a real battle for third here, I'd say. I don't think anyone's going to beat that top two, but we've got guys like Akeem Williams, James Hollingshead, Antoine Valiant, there's John De La Rosa. They're the four named, and then you've got, I believe, Mo Shaban in there as well, and I think that's the entire lineup. So who do you guys think is going to push up into that third spot, because it is really tightly contested? Jose, what do you think?
John. I thought John should have been third at this last week.
Over Raf?
I thought he was way better from behind, way harder, way drier. And John has a beautiful physique as well. He's not as tall and statuesque as Rafa, but he was in way better condition from behind. And Rafa's just taller. He's not bigger. John is packed and stacked at 5'6". He's got a beautiful physique, small waist, great silhouette, a lot of muscle, and he's dry. And I think he's on a mission. Like, he's made huge improvements, and he's in a good place. I think John is a lock for third.
Lock.
But maybe better.
I mean, Akeem beats.
You guys stand?
I say Akeem was ahead of John at finals. I mean, I love John. I think he's going to be even better this week. I thought he was harder than Rafa from the back, but from the front, I thought Rafa was harder. So, kind of balanced out there. I had Rafa solid third for the around Ohio. But yeah, I think that third spot's going to be. I mean, it should be between John and Akeem if we follow the trend of 2 weeks ago.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why it's so close as well, because I thought even Antoine and James looked really close physique-wise, but they were 2 spots apart, and they're going to be in this as well. And James beat out Akeem overall at the Arnolds, but Akeem obviously did beat him at the final. So it is going to be really interesting in terms of who places higher. I'll bring up some updates of Akeem Williams that he actually just posted right before we started the podcast. And Akeem's like, Chris Aceto said, because he's prepping Akeem for this contest, he said that he did nothing different at all between prejudging and finals, but everyone knows that he looked dramatically better at finals than he did at prejudging. So he's got obviously a very temperamental physique. Do you guys, I suppose it's a 2-day show, which probably works to the disadvantage of Akeem. Does that play a part in it for you, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, so I think it'd be a battle for third with John and Akeem. But I do agree with Jose. I think John is just going to be more consistent. It's just with Akeem, we don't know what version is going to show up, right? But I was thoroughly impressed with his final look, and even the judges were. They tried moving him all the way up into that top 4 or 5 and give him a look at next to those guys, and he matched up. But the thing is too late because the night before. So if they can truly figure out, I think he worked with. Did he work with Aceto? Is that what I saw?
Yep, Aceto.
Yeah.
Akeem did, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe if they learn something from that, just be able to dial it in. Then he would have a chance to battle it out for that, like they said, that third spot with John. But I would love to see it. I would love to see him actually peak, because we saw him peaked one time and he got sixth in the world, so it shows where the potential is, and I would love to see it. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think
Sorry.
Akeem was off during prejudging. I think he was overlooked. I think he's like, his color might have been too dark or something, because he was. I was looking at his pictures, his check-ins, like every day, every few hours leading up to the show, and I'm like, he looks absolutely bananas. He looked like Kai Green in some shots, like crazy. And then they just didn't see him. And then at finals, it was too late. They had him in like 8th place at finals, and
But
until
he was a lot tighter. I don't know if nerves or maybe just to pose that day, since Tassilo said they haven't changed anything. For the second day, they did the exact same day as the Friday, food wise. So it's either like the whole posing on stage the first day, or the nerves that got out of the way, and he was able to showcase his true physique. But he was. I really saw the difference between the Friday night and Saturday night. It's not like he was. But he looked way harder on that second day.
Even on the live stream, like, I wasn't really listening to the commentary very much at all. And at prejudging, I was like, yeah, Keem, he looks good. Like, he definitely looks good, but he won't be in that top group. And then at finals, I didn't even hear the commentators say that, oh, Keem looks much better, until I think a bit later. And I was like, Keem looks way better, even before he got compared to that top 4. So there must have been a difference, because that'd be too much of a coincidence. But yeah, he probably was still marginally overlooked, I'd say, at prejudging. But yeah, Stan, you mentioned, I was actually wondering this to myself. I'm like, he changed nothing. I was like, that's so weird. And then I thought about it too. It might have been nerves. It might have been anxiety related to it. Like, I've heard so many stories about, Cedric McMillan back in the day, a whole bunch of guys that backstage get that crazy anxiety, which obviously isn't conducive to looking your best probably on stage.
And also, like, just an extra day of eating, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bit.
Now I want to discuss Antoine Vaillant, who to me is looking really, really good. I think Antoine is probably more of a sure thing maybe than James in terms of nailing the condition on stage. We rarely see Antoine come in off on stage, and James, while he can be really phenomenal, and if he brings that little bit more detail to his physique with the fullness, I think he can definitely beat Antoine, no doubt. What do you guys think about Antoine and the package that he's bringing to the stage?
I love him. I think he's awesome. This is the best he's ever been. And, all these shots by himself, he just looks wild. And he's one of the few competitors that really knows his body and knows how to pose. He's almost like a gigantic classic physique guy. He knows how to show his physique, and he's nailing his condition. It's just that he is tall, and he doesn't look quite as thick front to back as some of the other guys. And, he could still use a bit more muscle on that frame, because he's a big dude.
Yeah. But I was very impressed with his overall look. And I think that he's sort of been one of those underrated guys. Like, he's a pro contest winner, multiple time pro contest winner. He's competed at the Olympia. There's a few years when I think he was sort of in the same call outs as James as well. And I thought he could have placed a few spots higher. It wouldn't have made a huge difference, but maybe, 15th or whatever he placed up to 12th or something like that in an Olympia or two. So yeah, I'm glad he's getting his credit. And I think everyone sort of saw his posing routine and thought how good he looked, but I might change my prediction slightly from my last one and put him over James. I think you picked him over James, didn't you, Stan?
I did, yeah. No, I love Antoine. I had him win the Best Poser Award. And
it's just because you're both Frenchies.
Right.
That's funny. So James Hollingshead, obviously, who's doing this show, doing his own prep. He was sort of doing it before, which we found out about, as you said earlier, Jose. What did you think, firstly, Jose, of this package from James Hollingshead, and do you think that he can improve at this Arnold?
I think he can improve placing wise. But James is limited structurally because he's such a big guy, but he's not super wide through the clavicles, and it just throws off a couple of shots. He's got great legs, great arms, great chest, but he's not super wide through the shoulders, and it's just something that's his front lat spread's a little weird for such a big guy. It's a couple poses just throw me off. I mean, he's obviously awesome. His condition, this is pretty much the best we've seen of him. He's a big dude, but there's guys with prettier physiques. It is what it is. For that style of physique, he would have to have 20 more pounds of muscle on him to really overwhelm people, if that makes any sense.
100%.
Yeah. Personally, I thought he had a little more like shoulder cap and fullness in the squats and details when he was working with Patrick. I thought that was his best look, like 2020, around that time. I don't know. Maybe because he's posting like morning pictures right now, we're on empty stomach. So I don't know if that's the whole reason, but I feel like his shoulder don't pop as much as they used to, and same on the quads. They used to be really like especially from the side, it was like crazy sweep. And now I feel like maybe it's just because there's more people with crazy legs too. I don't know, but it just doesn't like impress me as much as he has a few years ago. When he's off season completely full.
I agree, Stan. I think his best was with Patrick Tour for sure, because he seemed to really nail that conditioning, because I thought he was maybe slightly crisper then, and he had that fullness as well, where the muscles just pushing out against the skin really hard. And that's why I think that was his best look. I think this is the second best look that he's brought to the stage in terms of a contest prep, but I think that was better because he had the fullness and the conditioning. I think his midsection's probably better now and tighter, but it's it's a different look for sure. He actually, which is pretty cool, he actually listed his whole like yesterday's meal plan in terms of what he's eating in terms of food, and he said he's eating 800 to 1,000 grams of carbs a day at the moment. So he's having to do that to keep full, which is pretty crazy because that's obviously a huge amount of food. And he sort of lists what he's doing here. He's got like 100, first thing I say, 100 grams of smoked salmon, which I don't know. Would you guys include that or not really in your prep?
It's super salty. I would not.
You would not?
It depends on when that was.
When was that?
Well, the smoked part make it more salty.
Yeah.
I know like smoked salmon could be like pro-inflammatory, so I was just wondering if that's anything that you guys would be like, oh no, I'd just do normal salmon. Or
I mean, if he's been doing
I didn't eat salmon at all during prep.
I think it's what your body's used to, honestly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if James can, obviously this is his first show back in a while, so don't get me wrong, I thought he had a pretty damn good look. I just think that in terms of bringing that conditioning in really tight, because I just think that he didn't nail his peak 100%. If we can see this a little bit more conditioned with this same level of fullness, he'll just seem to have more pop overall, like where the chest is popping a bit more, that little bit more conditioning. I think it'll just add a bit more of a look of depth to his physique. And it was a dark sort of lighting on the stream, so it was harder to see watching it from here compared to if he was there in person for sure.
Also, the midsection.
The ab detail throws it off so much on his physique. Yeah. There's nothing he can do. Everyone, like, oh, he's need to do more. He's tried everything. He's done abs every single day for months on end, and it's genetics. You know what I mean? It comes down to. I think people don't give enough emphasis on a lot of things in bodybuilding. Majority of things are genetic potential and genetically how you're made up. And his thing is his abs depth is never going to be there. And so like when he comes out there and like you just see like one, just one layer, what I mean? It really throws off the detail everywhere else. You don't realize it until you see it with him.
But also like, I feel like sometimes that washed off abs is when you have too much food in your stomach and not enough liquid, when you have like you know, you dehydrated with the diuretics, and like you have too much in your stomach, and it's sitting there. I don't know if it's bro science, kind of pull the water there, and it's like just that washy midsection in my experience, but
I just
maybe
think
not.
there's certain people that have shallow abs, period.
That,
You know, they
yeah,
can work as hard as they want. And then there's guys like Dexter Jackson that don't train abs, and he's got big bubbly abs. It is what it
Sean.
is. Yeah. I don't think James' deficiencies are for lack of effort. I think he's
No.
doing everything he can. And I think his condition was great, but it's just he's against guys that are structurally superior. James got a ton of muscle. It's just you're going against the best in the world, literally. You know,
It doesn't matter
Hadi
how
and,
much,
and, and
doesn't matter how
Samson.
much you
Brett, you literally
Right.
have the opposite. You've got like the abs that just go like like yours are you can be off season, you know, and probably have fat everywhere else, and your abs still just like
I
pop.
just sent you a picture in WhatsApp from today if you want to.
Can I put it up?
Yeah, I'll admit that all the time. I'm 200 and I was 273 this morning, and I still have striated glutes and I still have abs. But the thing is, it's because I hold my fat, I
There it
hold my
is.
water in other places. You know what I mean? So it's a genetic thing, you know, and that's what people have to understand.
Can I post these up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've just got to save them and send them over. For some
Just-
reason, WhatsApp is not every time I launch it on my Mac, it just crashes. So that's why I sent you the link initially to the show on IG. But I'll just send these to my computer and put them up. Hoping this doesn't. I'm turning my Bluetooth on so I can airdrop it, but hopefully it doesn't connect my headphones.
For some reason, Xavier, when you send me the link on IG, it sends me to your OnlyFans page. So
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
had you email
Wrong
it
link.
to me
Wrong
this
link.
time.
I
See,
had
mine's
Yeah,
actually
thanks.
saved. Your page is actually saved on my phone, so I end up there all the time anyway. I don't know. Hey, no, real quick, cool story from today, actually. Ivana told me about this before the podcast, so I just wanted to bring it up. But so I guess they did a meet and greet out at the UK, obviously, probably a few hours ago. I don't know, not too long ago. But so I guess, you know, obviously Hadi had this huge line and people were going through it, and John Del Rosso is right next to him, and John had nobody. Like nobody was you know, I mean, I'm sure he did at some point, but as time went on, like the people that wanted to see him kind of dwindled down, and so he didn't have anybody. He was just kind of hanging out, you know, and probably just enjoying his time. But Hadi actually went over and got John and brought him over to his line. And then to everybody that came through Hadi's line had to take a picture with Hadi and John together. So I'm
Oh,
just
that's
saying
cool.
that was
That's
like,
great.
yeah, so cool. He told his interpreters, the interpreter went over and grabbed John, was like, hey, Hadi wants you to come stand with him and take pictures with everybody. And he did. And I just thought that was so cool because like, you know what I mean? Like, especially after the last Olympia, we're like, oh, you know, he's a dick. He walked off stage. He probably is an asshole, but it's like Hadi's a good dude, man. And just those things like that. I just want to make sure that the good stuff's getting put out there as well, and people can hear that story too, because I thought that was really cool.
That's
Because
awesome.
we have no real insight on what Hardy's like, because we don't get to hear him speak in English, so we don't really know what he's like as a person. So people have this where they, you know, people always want to form an opinion, like either Hardy's an asshole, Hardy's a good guy, because you see Hardy and he does the stuff that you sort of love, and he does the salute on stage and all that sort of stuff, and hugs people, and then people see the other stuff that's happened where it's really funny because that video of him when there's a pose down and he walks across the stage and Crizzo's going into like a side tricep, but he just forearms him out of the way. Man, I don't know if he's like, yeah, we're having fun and I'm pushing you out of the way, or if it's like, fuck you guys. And you just don't know. So that's why people have been form an opinion.
We'll never know, but I think it is more the fun side of things, because you've seen him have a little fun with that, and then he's always nice afterwards.
Yeah, because Tony Burton's pissing himself, looking at Crizzo, just pissing himself, like what? But I enjoy it, man. I think it's funny. But I can share those photos of you on the screen now?
That's fine. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Let me show. All right.
It's just an off season. It came a long ways in the last 3 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because when you was out in Australia, you were obviously big then, but
so Jose, on December 31st, I was 238 pounds. And then today I was 273 this morning.
Well, I
So
saw you at the Olympia. You were like same 230, 240.
Yeah, but you guys, I'm telling you right now, this guy in the back right there is going to be the one that's going to shock a lot of fucking people here pretty soon.
Martin, yeah, he is looking wild, man. And I found it really funny. But man, I just want to say as well, you're looking awesome. And I just want to quickly touch on Martin as well, because I've shared one of his physique updates, and you got some people in my comments that are Martin haters, and then some people that are Martin lovers. Some people saying Martin looks insane, he's going to do some big things, then other people saying, oh, Martin's head, he's only just growing into his head, or so, just saying some bullshit comments. But I'll share that up on the screen. I'll figure out how to get that up from my latest video. But Brett, what are you seeing from Martin? Because he's like 4 or 5 weeks out now of that Detroit Pro.
Yeah, he doesn't want to show too much. So we're like, I'll just do a few little snippets there, here and there, just because I'm enjoying it, man. It's cool to see him. He's changing every day and stuff. But no, I've been around bodybuilders that won these types of shows that he's doing ahead, and I know what the people look like and stuff like that. And I'm telling you right now, like he'll be in that top 3 with any show he's gonna do. It's just gonna come down to how bad he wants it, how good his posing's on, and what the peak's like. But everything is very, very on point for being 4 weeks out. He's in the driver's seat in regards to everything's responding. And like, here's the, I don't want to get upset if I say this, but he's like in that aspect of Dexter Jackson, in that like he's not even doing any cardio right now. Looks like that, and he does cardio maybe once or twice a week, but like it's just everything is really coming together, and so I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you think that's why he's been able to maintain this sort of level of fullness, not doing the cardio? Because he looks really huge.
It's just the size. Yeah, I do. Like he's even since he's been here, it's just like he's losing weight, but none of the fullness is actually increasing, or size is increasing. So, like I said, he's working with boss of Outlaw. Most people know Stefan, and he's got a good formula, man. He's just the guy's very good with his X's and O's, with his details, and if the athlete is on point, like I said, going back to the whole, if you're listening to your coach and only your coach, good things will happen. So you get somebody really smart in that avenue, and you listen to them, and things will respond like they're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. But Brett, what show are you doing this year, or shows are you doing this year?
I'm not sure yet. So like I said, I still have another probably 6 weeks of pushing up. So I'm shooting for probably either August or September timeframe. So that would be, Tampa, Texas in August, or if I have to wait, then, like Reno's in September, I believe, or something like that. So that's what my
Reno is
what's
for
that?
next year. The Reno Show Legion.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it'll be more so just whatever date fits perfectly. I think I knew, like, isn't Texas the last one for this year? So I'd probably like to, at least. Well, shit, if I could, I need to speed this process up and try to get into try to go over to, that's what I was going to say something to you, is go over to Dubai and try to win that $100,000 that they're throwing out there.
I might do it too,
yeah. That's why I was wondering what that date was for Vancouver.
It's so you have Vancouver the week after Chicago, the week after Dubai, the week after Tampa, the week after Texas.
Oh, okay. So Dubai is in between Chicago and Tampa. Gotcha.
I think there's going to be a few guys doing that. I think Nathan's doing that one, Brett, which is cool. I think Stan's doing it. It'd be awesome if a whole ton of you guys were doing that from the podcast.
Are you talking about Dubai?
Yeah, Nathan said, but he's doing that one as well.
There's going to be more than just a few guys, bro.
Oh yeah,
it'll be a pretty big one for sure.
I wouldn't even be shocked if the prize money. Well, the way Nathan's sort of talking, and Nathan's obviously close with Beta. It sounds like if it's on again next year, it will definitely be more prize money. It wouldn't even shock me. We've already increased the prize money for this one twice already. It's gone from, I don't know what it was going to be, but maybe like 20, 30,000. Then it went up to 60, and then it went up to 100,000 for first place. So they're giving away, I think, 360,000 US all up across the 3 divisions. So, I mean, men's physique and also classic physique are definitely not getting left out there. I think with prizes that are around what the Olympia is at, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll bring up the contest schedule. Yeah. And I'm hearing, rumblings as well. Nothing that I can say, but I've heard rumblings of more money coming into the sport too. So it's in a really cool spot, because we had so many years where a year or two ago, I was looking at the prize money and everyone was sort of started to talk about it, about how crap it really is, but it hasn't increased. And it's cool to have guys like Tyler Mannion trying to push that and putting the money back into the shows, which is definitely needed.
But now it's up to us to step up, though. We have to make all the...
were you? My bad. Go ahead, Stan. Sorry.
So I was just saying it's up to us to step up now, show up, and make sure this continues to go that way, you know. Because if all the shows get really, really competitive, we got high-level conditioning, high-level athletes, it's really competitive, then the prize money is going to keep coming. It's going to be more and more interest, more viewers, more sponsors. And but like if people don't show up and it's not competitive and they still have to try and drag, because I don't know, like I'm a little bit disappointed that the Arnold UK only 7 guys in it. I think, you know, it should be at least like 10 to 12 guys. That'd be a little like more of a full panel. But yeah, I think we just, you know, it's a great thing that the league has done, and the sponsor and Arnold are stepping up. And just us as athletes, we have to do our part, and it's show up to the shows.
Yeah, we have a stacked contest calendar. So there's going to have to be a lot of guys doing a decent amount of shows to really make all these shows stacked. But the first shows, it is stacked. Like that New York Pro, when I've written down some names, and the lineup sounds insane, like actually insane. And there might be more names to jump in as well, because you've got, I believe, Quentin Arias coming back at that show. You've obviously got Martin, you've got Nick Walker, you've got Tonio Burton, you've got who are the other names? I've got it written down somewhere on a list, but they're just the ones
doing it.
Yeah,
next Zilla, Carlos Thomas Jr. is meant to be doing it. That show could be better than the Arnold.
Nexzilla was supposed to do that, and then Rafa was, I think, on an interview mentioning he was interested in doing the Arnold too. The New York Pro, sorry.
I saw that.
Yeah. So, and when you look at these months that we've got coming up, so we're obviously, where are we at now? We're in March. Are we in March? Yeah, we're in March.
The first one, yeah. The first one,
Arnold Classic UK. So you got 2 shows in March, 3 shows in April. That's a Masters one though, so won't count that one. So 2 in April, 2 in May, and then it gets really crazy. We've got 3 shows in June. We've got 4 shows in July. So it's basically every weekend, or it is every weekend. And then in August, we've got 2 shows. So it gets really stacked. And then you've got like the UK Pro, the Italy Pro. And are these ones here, Stan, are these ones qualifiers for next year?
These, I think they qualify for this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And the Legion's not though, is it?
The Legion not, yeah.
Okay, so the last qualifying shows are Italy and UK Pro. So,
that's what I heard, yeah.
And the last one in America is the 10th of August, which is probably a bit earlier than normal as well. So I imagine these shows, you know, Dubai, Tampa, Texas, Chicago, they're probably going to be pretty competitive shows, which they always seem to be. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a pretty awesome competitive season. But did we discuss all the main guys from the Arnold UK? We discussed John, we discussed Antoine, we discussed Akeem, we discussed James. Yeah, we discussed all those guys. So, Stan, you've done your predictions. Do you want to make any changes to yours or no?
No.
Brett,
based on what?
Brett, what's your predictions for the Arnold UK?
Hadi, Samson, John, Akeem, James, Antoine, then Muhammad, and then I don't know if I missed anybody, but I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. Yep. All right, Jose.
So before I even do my predictions, you guys mentioned money going into these shows. Guy Cesternino's company, Uprising Extracts, dumped $210,000 into men's open bodybuilding this year. I don't know if you guys saw that announcement, but $210,000 additional to the prize money of men's open bodybuilding. So the New York Pro is going to be more. Number of shows are going to be more than they were. So that's, I think, huge.
Every open show will be an extra 5,000 just to that place winner.
From that one sponsor.
Just from that.
That's huge.
Yeah, so yeah, they killed, and I just got like when they did that, it was huge, but then it kind of got shadowed because then, but Dubai up there is, and then Arnold went an extra 200,000, but that's good. It started something, you know what I mean? So
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
good.
So my question I was gonna ask you a little earlier, Jose, was your entire time competing, which was how many years? As a pro, how many pro years did you compete?
10 years.
Did the prize money ever change in those 10 years?
From show to show it did, but for the most part, no. It
For
was
the most part,
as
right?
a
So like
212, 202 competitor, 212 competitor, it was always 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. That was it. But you would go to a random show in Korea and it would be 15,000. You would go to Kuwait and it would be 15,000. So we had a couple of shows that were really good. The Arnold Classic at one point was 25,000, and the Olympia at finally got up to 50,000. But for the most part, the smaller shows. In fact, one year I won the New York Pro and got 5,000, and then 3 years later I won it again and got 3,000. So it was weird. It was weird. But yeah, I mean, no, the money didn't change as much as you would have liked, but it's good to see that it is now for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And now for my predictions, they're going to match yours exactly with Hattie, Samson, John, Akeem, James, Antoine.
I didn't catch that whatsoever. My headphones keep dropping out, but I'm sure the fans heard.
They were the same. They were the same as mine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, mine are exactly the same. I'm just making one change. They were my exact predictions last week, but I'm just making one change and I'm going to put Antoine ahead of James. I just feel like maybe Antoine's will be a bit more predictable in terms of what he's going to bring to the stage. But if James nails it, then I think James will get a bit ahead of him. All right, I wanted to discuss one thing. So Brian Powers, he just went on Nick Strength and Power. Did any of you guys see that interview?
Not yet, no.
So it was actually really cool because he spoke on, Nick actually asked him some really good questions, and he spoke on a lot of the issues and the I suppose the questions fans would have for the Arnold Classic. So I found it really, really cool because they spoke about prize money. What was the reason for giving the extra prize money? Why don't you have these other divisions? He brought up the Iris Kyle and Sarah Villegas thing about saying, what they said about the increase in prize money in the Open and the fact that they don't have women's physique and whatnot as well. And it was cool because Brian didn't rule out the potential to maybe bring back some divisions, but he didn't commit to saying, yeah, we're going to add all divisions. But he did say it's a tough situation. And another point he made in there as well is the fact that Arnold and Jake Wood's financial contributions to keeping bodybuilding alive during a pandemic as well, which was pretty cool. And he's like, I don't think people really understand how much these two guys actually kept bodybuilding going, because with Jake Wood as well, and he gave a lot of credit to the Olympia, which I found cool. But he said, Jake Wood, would have eaten a lot of money that year, and Arnold definitely did as well. But he basically did say that it's not being ruled out that they're going to add more money to other divisions or they won't actually get them back. So Jose, you're obviously 212 bodybuilding legend, and they don't have the 212 at the Arnold Classic, which I think is a shame personally, because bodybuilding fans still love 212. What do you think about this and I suppose the potential for 212 to come back at the Arnold?
Why is that what they said? That 212 would come back? Or?
They didn't specifically say 212, but they said for some of these other divisions, there's the chance for it to come back at some point. Like they're not ruling it out, and they're open to it.
I have no idea. The reason they got rid of it was they said that none of the big names were doing it. Yet I did every single one. David Henry did every single one. The only name that didn't do it was Flex Lewis. So I don't know where that came from. I thought we had a great draw. I thought we had great rivalries within the division, and maybe now there's not as many, because I don't think that Keon and Sean Clarita are going to do the Arnold for some reason. I don't know, but maybe they would if there was an extra 50 grand to win. I don't know. I wish the 212 never left the Arnold, but I guess they're kind of weighing their options. And if they can put all that extra money into the Open, and make it a bigger deal, then that's what they're doing. I don't know. And when it comes to the women's divisions, certain divisions just aren't as big of a draw. I mean, I don't know if women's physique is a bigger draw than even 212. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I'm sure they've done their homework and did the math on what made the most sense. You know, I didn't like that they got rid of 212, but maybe it made sense to them. I don't know. So it's kind of like one of those things with the WNBA. You know, they want to get paid as much as the NBA, but come on. You know, there's 30,000 people at an NBA game and there's 3,000 at a WNBA game. You know, it is what it is. And I don't know all the numbers, but you know, they're probably doing the best they can. So I'm not going to shit on them. I wish 212 was still there. I love that division, but who knows?
There's women's sports here. I remember hearing about a sporting organization here. As someone said, I hate it when you compare something to Australian rules football because we don't know it. But there's obviously the AFL Men's League, and then you got the WAFL. The WAFL, they reported that they lost X amount of million running that for 1 year. And I'm talking, this was a lot of money, like tens of millions or 10 million or whatever it was. I'm like, they're making a straight loss on that. So they're just literally, the men's side is supporting the women's side being able to be put on. So the profits from the men's is going into just having a women's league in the name of, is it in the name of inclusivity, or are they hoping this becomes a huge thing? I even went to a game, a women's AFL game, because it was free and it was at the big stadium. They got 30-something thousand people there, but it was free for everyone to get in. So they would have made a big loss to try to get people into the sport and try to make it like that. So it is one of those things. It's like, how much does a promoter take in terms of a loss for the sake of keeping people happy? And it might be a very small minority happy as well. So it's a business decision, but it's also a decision of, I would love to see the 212 there. Do I care as much personally about some of these other divisions in terms of interest to watch? It's like, no, I don't personally. But some of these divisions, like women's physique, I like women's physique. It's a good division.
I do
Am I
too.
excited about that compared to classic or open? And would it stop me from going to the Arnold? Will that be the decision? It's like, no, it's not going to make any impact for me. But I'm not a female as well, so maybe some women would support it. But for whatever reason, in our sport, you think that the women would still be followed just as much, at least by the women that are competing or are fans of it. But it just doesn't seem to get that same support as the men's do. And I feel like more women follow the men's than men follow the women's, maybe. I don't know.
I thought figure was huge at the Arnold. You know, the Miss Figure International, that was huge. You know, they had some big time winners, very popular athletes winning that show each year.
Yeah.
But for some reason they got rid of that too. So I don't understand it, and I don't know the logistics of what they're dealing with there. But I don't agree with it, but I don't have to because I don't know the facts.
Well, I think scheduling issue too, like the Arnold, they're very like business oriented compared to the Olympia where they have to have all divisions. So we have like a show. I mean, everybody complains about the men's open going on at 10 p.m. at night, 11 p.m., you know, because the show is dragged for like 5-6 hours because we have all those divisions. And the Arnold is more like entertainment, so he has to be kept within like 2.5-3 hours. That's, you know, the length of a football game or, you know, any type of sport. Even but 5 hours is just too much. So it's like, who do you include? How do you make it fair, but also how do you make a return on investment? How do you make it, you know, actually grow the sport? And I think that's the choices that the Arnold made. They choose, you know, 3 divisions of men and 3 divisions of women, and they stick to that, and that's allowed them to run it in a 3-hour period and to be profitable.
I think you stop prejudging in finals and you just have one show. You go out, you do a prejudging, and immediately the top 5, which you can break it down to top 5, they do their posing routines or they do their finals routines right there. And then they judge it. Boom. Stop the finals and prejudging stuff. I know that they like to do the prejudging finals because they can charge tickets for 2 different shows, but just at the Olympia, when there's that many divisions, just do it all in one thing. The judges can judge it all at once. Boom.
I don't think they'll do it though, because they're doing like a Friday, Saturday night thing for the men's open. I'm like, well, might as well get fans to both nights, you know? It's just, I think business wise, they'll never do it.
They wouldn't, because again, men's open is what's selling the tickets.
Exactly.
So they sell the tickets to prejudging Friday, finals Saturday.
But they do for the division, you know, except for men's open at the Olympia. Every other division is judged in the morning and finals at night. I mean, the same day. You got prejudging at the expo and
all at once.
Yeah.
In one round, boom.
But it's also long if you have all at once. I think it's good to break it. Sorry.
Because during prejudging, they bring them out by themselves, and they bring them out in groups, and then they do the call-outs.
So the thing is just judging.
Just judge them once. That's it. You bring your best right here and now. We can judge it all at one time. I think that would be awesome. And if you want to do it with men's open, give them the second night, fine. Wouldn't change anything.
Do you think they really judged Classic like a second time on Friday?
I don't. They showed it.
I don't think they judged him on all Friday night. I think that's why Wesley won, because I don't think Ramon was as good in the morning at prejudging as he was in the evening, and then they didn't even look at him that night. You know what I mean? I think I truly think those other divisions they go off of prejudging and then do the awards at night. So why, like, I don't mind this idea. He's saying I think we'd always still have to have open do both nights. Just to get the fan base there, but I think you could do that prejudging setup right into the finals on that Friday night with half the divisions, and then the other half divisions same setup.
I think for the Arnold, they did say that he was just judging. There was no confirmation, I believe.
Men's open is the only one that had confirmation.
Yeah. That's why
I've seen this for a couple of years now.
So they should do that for the Olympia too. And that will solve the problem of getting it done quick.
Well, what about just for some of the, I suppose, divisions that aren't as popular? Because like you said, sorry, Stan?
No, but also so then you don't put Classic at night, or you put all at night?
No, all at night.
Everything at, well, that's it, yeah.
No expo.
Then it doesn't make it any shorter. I think then the prejudging adds some more, interest to the finals, because people start speculating, how it's going to turn out. That's a part of the excitement of the show, I think.
Or eliminates people only going to the expo and watching it for free rather than going to the night show to watch it all in one.
Yeah. But then you eliminate from the big stage then, you don't deserve to be on the big stage.
Oh yeah, we'll get that one. Yeah. You put women's physique only in the expo or something, and oh my god, you'd hear about it. It'd be worse bringing it back. You get more criticism. So yeah, that's a tough thing, because you've got to appease a certain amount of people in the sport, and then another thing is you got to bring in the money. Another thing is you got to look after the athletes. It is a big balancing act, and I don't envy them, because they're never going to be right in everyone's eyes, that's for sure, no matter what they really do. But I just wanted to point out that was a pretty cool interview, and I really appreciate the transparency of now Brian Power speaking on that, but also Tyler Mannion after shows coming out, giving his review of each division, gives his opinion on who he had winning, because he even had Uruz Breon beating Uruz in the Classic, and he sort of said, okay, these are the poses I have winning. And a lot of the time I really agree with his opinion on what he says about the physiques. So it's good to get that transparency. And there was some blurred lines in terms of what shots guys can hit and what they're judging and all that sort of stuff. So it's so cool for him to come out and say, this is what we're looking for. Hardy can improve this a little bit more. If Samson just needs to bring better conditioning. So we know exactly where they stand, instead of us speculating and saying, oh, are they more worried about condition? Are they less worried about condition? Are they more worried about size? Are they less worried about size? So yeah, I find that really, really cool. And I think everyone appreciates that transparency. And I think that's Especially in bodybuilding, it's appreciated more than maybe some other outlets. But guys, is there anything else you wanted to discuss, shout out, or anything before we wrap this one up?
I think we're good. It's good to talk to you guys. I'm glad I got to get back on these a little bit more. Now they got a little more free time with a schedule with a baby, and we know what to expect. So it's good seeing Jose. I always enjoy my time with you and Stan. Keep killing it, bro. Like I said, you are on point with everything, and I'll do the same over here.
Counting on you.
Everyone go check out the Butcher Balm, butcherbalm.com. It sounds incredible, man. And using that transdermal technology to get through the skin and have those peptides in there. Obviously, I can't ever use it, but when I come to the US one time, I will.
The less needles we use to inject, the better. So I'm helping you out.
Yeah, you're helping the scar tissue.
Hey, one more shameless plug. Notice the shirts me and the Butcher got on?
Yeah, they're nice.
I think they gave you, why is my size not fit like yours, man? What's going on?
Yours is probably a 3X. Mine's all rolled up because the sleeves will be down to here.
Well, let's give Jose the retired size.
I had to give you some shit to finish off, man. You know that.
I love it.
Yeah, check it out. They got the greatest clothes. I just got my jeans tailored. Awesome jeans.
Right?
I love those jeans.
The only jeans I had, but I get the biggest size, which I think is like 36. But I have to go get them tailored because they're way too long. But once you get them tailored, they're perfect. They're stretchy.
Yeah.
You don't rub. Yeah, I'm glad you discovered those because that's the only thing I can wear when I go out.
Yep. I wear them every day.
That's awesome.
Garth's been putting out a ton more of the like podcast type stuff recently. Like Jose, were you on one of those? I think was you on one with Branch and Guy? That one was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool.
It was fun. We were smoking cigars, drinking whiskey. It was a blast.
All together, going through memory lane.
Michael Johansson is the greatest guy on earth. That guy loves to have fun. He's all about creating an atmosphere and having a blast. And
he just set this up himself. He just like literally brought out a projector and put it in the hotel like greeting room.
Yeah, he's the best. He has like a bash every time there's an event.
Yeah.
He'll rent a 10,000 square foot mansion just to have everyone over for dinner. And the guy is awesome.
That's him there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, he does an awesome job, man. He's built such a brand. Like Gasp has been one of those ones that have sort of stayed around as well, because I'd say most clothing companies or any sort of companies from that long ago when they started, they're gone now, you know, and he's been able to have that staying power in the industry. So he's done extremely well.
1982.
Are you serious?
That? Yeah.
I only saw them. I only saw them first when they really launched and seeing the Gasp in the MDs. No, that was 7 years before me. Neither was Stan, neither was Brett.
I was in high school, but that's all right. Nah.
No, you wasn't. I was like, what the?
I was going to say, how old are you?
8 years old. 8 years old.
Primary.
But it's funny. My entire career, I did photo shoots and all this stuff, tank tops, the short shorts. I never even met Michael. I met him last year at the Olympia. And he was hilarious. He's like, Jose, I always knew about you, but I didn't know you were so funny. He's like, all right. That's how I ended up hooking up with him.
Yeah, like, honestly, that would have been a match made in heaven back in the day. I'm surprised you guys never linked up. You would have been perfect.
Yeah, we never met. Now it's, I'm 6 years out of my retirement, but it's better late than never.
Hiding up there in Boston all the time. You're not getting out much, you get locked away.
Yeah.
Come the Olympia or the next event you guys do, you guys definitely have to do another one of those podcasts, because that was, man, I was cracking up during that one. It had very much the feeling like I was just hanging out with you guys, because you were smoking cigars and chilling, and it was a very relaxed atmosphere where some cool stories came out.
That's when Branch really opens up and is in those situations. You know what I
mean? He did
like,
too. You did.
Yeah. I watched it, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the branch I know from those same, like those trips, you know what I mean? Just going over to Michael's, you know, smoke a cigar, listen to Branch tell stories and stuff where he really like, because he's a talker. You don't ever like, you don't, you know, when you think of Branch and you think of those hardcore videos, like, don't talk to me, fuck you, get out, you know what I mean? But now it's like, you know, he's like, okay, I'm gonna talk about it. You know, I'm gonna talk about all the stories and stuff. So you just sit there, you open your ears and you listen, man. And you can learn a lot. So it's fun when those guys get together, especially Jose and Guy. And it can go on for hours, dude. So you gotta appreciate that and respect that when you hear it, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Branch is one of the coolest guys in bodybuilding. He really is. He had
Shout
me
out
staying
to
at his house. I stayed at his house. He showed me
that trophy room upstairs.
All his deer heads and elk heads, and we were.
What do you mean? He's got a zoo. He's got a legit zoo upstairs, but that ain't. It's like every version of every species probably that is you can hunt in this world is upstairs in his house. There's a crocodile up there. There's bison. It's insane.
And we ate some of it each day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. But you're getting like the best meat. That you're getting stuff that's not, you know, farm raised and everything. It's awesome.
All natural.
Probably a lot healthier too. I mean, I would love to. I'm surprised there's not more channels over there in the US, because I know there's a lot of Australians and Europeans and whatnot that would love to be in the US if you live there regularly, actually going out and filming stuff like Branch hunting. I'd be like, Branch, whatever I've got to do to go hunting with you, can I film this shit? Because it's like, it's iconic, man.
You can't do that.
You can't?
Yeah.
No. If you notice, he's never posted anything of him hunting. Have you not seen that? Because you lose, you have potential to lose a quarter of your fan base if you show that you're killing animals. It's crazy, dude.
In the way that they do it.
Yeah. No, and it's just like, I mean, he doesn't do anything wrong, or, you know, that's not, you know, considered right when it comes to game and hunting, but it's just people lose their shit when you actually show the blood, you know, the skin, you know, the gun wound, things like that. So it's like he learned a long time ago. I think he did post something when he, you know, coming up, and he learned a long time ago that you don't do that. And that was one of the first thing he told me, because I hunt, you know, I haven't, you know, in the last 2 years, but he was like, literally, one thing he's like, best advice I can ever give you is if you hunt, don't put that shit on the internet. That's what he said to me. I was like, all right.
Well, I think
Dave, a brilliant man.
Dave Plumbo back in the day actually, I think, filmed. They did it on RX. I think they went out and they filmed part of it. I don't know. I don't think they filmed the, you know, killing of the animal or anything like that. But it's so funny, man, because most people are not vegetarian. So where do you think your meat's coming from? Like, a lot of those animals are treated like crap anyway.
They don't register that. They don't think that far though.
No,
that's the issue.
That drives me insane. I know Seth Feroci copped a lot when he hunted that bear. He copped a lot for that.
That's my example for you right there.
Yeah, exactly. And he clarified. At first, though, it is sort of triggering when it's like, not triggering, but I saw it and I was like, whoa, I'm surprised he posted that. That he went hunting and got a bear. And I just knew the comments were going to be, there's going to be a certain amount of people on one side very strong, and then a certain amount of people on the other side. And then to know that he's eating the meat and everything as well, it's like, well, come on. It's not, you know, I don't think they're, I don't know. I don't think they're endangered or anything. They're, you know, it's legal and everything. So power to him. But anyway, we'll wrap this one up. Stan, do you have anything you want to put out there or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I mean, always thanking my sponsors for supporting me, BSN, Trifecta. Definitely a huge help. So if you're looking for protein or meal prep, hit them up and you won't be disappointed, and they'll help everybody. So please appreciate it.
And Brett and Jose, do you want to thank any other sponsors or anything?
That was it. I think I did so.
Yeah, he covered Gas,
you did.
Better Bodies, man. And then
Gas, Uprising, M145.
Yes,
We're
sir.
good.
Have you been using that for your like with pain management with injuries, Jose?
I just actually started last week, and I can say I use the gummies, and it's very helpful. Very helpful, like at night when I got to sleep, because I have issues with my shoulders. At night, my shoulders hurt more than anything. My hips, like I can sleep because, but I end up rolling over and sleeping on one shoulder or something. But with the gummies, I can just relax and lay on my back flat and just go out. So it's good. I'll be testing out more and more of the products as time goes on. But so far, I love the gummies.
You guys have all the good stuff in terms of, like, a lot of places over there. You have like gummy everything. You got edible. Those weed ones, Stan? They're weed, aren't they?
That's kratom too, but
it's kratom. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Happy heap.
But yeah, you guys have all the things over there compared to what we get out here in Australia. And Brett, you're obviously do you want to thank any other sponsors or anything?
No, like I said, Butcher Bomb, Butcher Hooks, Raw and Revive, of course, and Gas and Better Bodies. And like I said, and the desktop bodybuilding, where earlier I was gonna make the comment, you're like, you guys watch Nick's Strength to Power? I was gonna say, nope, I only watch desktop bodybuilding.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. But and also one other thing before we wrap it up, I had because I'm putting this on the new channel now, because what I've discovered is putting really long content, like an hour and a half, and then also putting content that's 8 minutes on one channel. One of them's getting sacrificed, and most of my followers have followed my channel for bodybuilding news. And then sometimes when podcasts come up, they're just not interested. And I always get the message saying less viewers than usual are choosing to watch this content because they watch for longer, but slightly less viewers. So I put this on a new channel, and the second video I put up got like 6,000 views, which is sort of evident on a new channel, but that's probably definitely the way to go. So I'll be putting clips up on the main channel, but this is on the new channel. So everyone watching, subscribe, like, all that good stuff as well. And then obviously follow all these guys. Anyway, that's it for myself, Xavier Wills, Jose Raymond, and Brett the Butcher Wilkins, and Stanimal Stan Longeaux. For all of us at Desktop Bodybuilding and Bodybuilding University, we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and also subscribe and click the notification bell button. And that's particularly important because this is on a new channel compared to the original Desktop Bodybuilding channel. Now, both channels will still be running. The original channel will have more bodybuilding news, and this one will have the podcast and interviews. So make sure you subscribe, and if you're not subscribed to the original Desktop Bodybuilding channel, head over there and subscribe to that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. For all the guys at Bodybuilding University and myself, Xavier Wills, we are out.